you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want.
Welcome to week 11 of Tonto's Demise podcast. I'm Detonators, feeling a little under the weather, but still Tonto Bull 6 champ.
And I'm Matt Datling, Tonto Bull 1 and 3 champ, just getting over a cold. Feeling great. I'm so excited for this week. So many matches depend on the playoffs. This is going to be crazy. Craig, get out of your seat. Do your little dance. We are going to have some fun.
And I'm glad you're feeling so up because clearly I'm feeling down, feeling a little sick. And I'm not sure how I got sick. I mean, sure, some kids at school were sick, Crystal's sick, but the only thing that makes sense is I got sick over that freaking loss. Like, that loss made me sick, man. Physically sick. I vomited, and then I actually got physically, like, a cold.
Oh, man. I don't feel sorry for you. I mean, some of the greatest things I got to watch was a little long touchdown to Martavis Bryant. Love that guy. Ben Roethlisberger loves him.
And you were sweating probably that whole game.
Oh, I was sweating totally, big sweat. Then, but the Green Bay, watching Cleveland go crazy, the defense was really killing me because I was just like, no. And then I was like, oh God, I hope Green Bay performs, and boy, they ever. I bet on Cutler sucking in Green Bay, and I was right.
I watched the first half of that game, and that's all I could bear to watch. I knew my fate was sealed, and then I woke up the next morning. I saw they got added on a touchdown. I'm like, God, I have no chance. So, congratulations on the win. Any your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched the game all the way to the end, smiled the whole way, and I said, bitch.
You said what?
Hold on, is it good? I said, bitch.
And that you are. For anybody who doesn't know, it's from Key and Peele. It's a pretty funny show.
Great skit.
Look up the skit. It's just called I Said Bitch. Look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny. But anyway, Dilling, as Craig pointed out in his video recap, you could have clearly sat both of your running backs and still beat me by 20 points. What's your thought on that?
Well, I should have done it. I mean, I was confident, but not that confident. I was confident I could beat you without the running backs, but I wanted to get those extra points because I know how valuable they are in the standings. So
You didn't say that last week.
well, no, but I knew. I don't have to say stuff like no.
Oh.
But
Last week you were more worried about making the playoffs.
yeah. Well, I'm still worried about making the playoffs.
But that was your reason for not playing them. I didn't know it was just the points.
No. The playoffs was huge. I mean, I want to be in the playoffs. I want to be part of the show. You know, I don't want to be sitting on the outside having to do the podcast like you for the last 5 years. If there are no playoffs, I mean, I don't understand how I can be enthusiastic about it.
I've only had the podcast for a year and a half now, so
Well, yeah, but you've been out all 5 years of it.
Yeah, imagine what it was like before then.
Terrible.
Awful.
Well, at least you didn't have to talk about it.
Only to Crystal.
And I'm sure she really loved that.
She could care less.
Yeah, pretty much.
So anyway, do you want to make any predictions for next year?
Comment pending
On what?
on depending on how early the season schedule is. If you are within the first 5 games, I will not start two. I will not start 2 running backs.
So let's be clear. If you play me in weeks 1 through 5, you will only have a flex position, no running back slots filled.
All I will say is I will not start 2 running backs.
No, you can't do that.
Well, I'm still not starting 1 for sure.
What do you mean?
There will definitely be 1 running back slot not open.
I think you're just trying to use semantics on me. You might draft 5 running backs and keep 2 on your bench. Is that what you're trying to do?
Oh, no. I'm saying maybe I'll start 1 running back in the running back slot and have 4 wide receivers. There, I'm not starting 2 running backs.
All right. So can you just save me the heartache? That's not even heartache. The anticipation, and just tell me you're going to change your team name again.
My team name?
Yeah. To I Am a Bitch again.
No, I believe it might be the Huber Squashers Forever. I've actually got a little drawing ready for it, too. It's for Jimmy to do his logo.
Wait, you're having Jimmy draw the logo of you squashing Hubers?
I believe so. It's going to be a beautiful logo. It's going to be in the form of what do you call Army of Darkness, where he's standing up there with his boomstick. Sepher is going to have two Huber brothers falling all over on top of each other with me and my leg on top of Jay or Jamie's back, whichever one he decides. And I'm going to have my like football up in the air. I have like somebody like my jersey on and like all chaos going all around me. And it's the Huber Squasher, so I'm basically going to be like Army of Darkness.
Now, give me one good reason why he would make that logo for you.
Well, because he knows this to be true. And I'm probably going to go, it's funny because after I play him, I play his brother.
Yes, that's true.
So I could be 3-0 against him. And then if I do, so I make the playoffs and I play against Jimmy again, I can be 4-0. I mean, that would just be crush.
You've got one win this year against the Huber, and you're trying to predict 3 more by the end of the season. Now, don't get ahead of yourself too much, but I think your logo is going to be a circle, which represents a rock, and then you're going to have a stick figure with one leg in the air, with 2 stick figures laying down on the ground with 2 X's on their eyes, and that will probably be your Huber Squasher logo, because Jimmy will not make a logo that, puts him and his brother down.
Well, everybody will still know what it is.
So,
It's going to be beautiful either way.
I can get like a really talented 5th grader to do it for if you want.
Who doesn't love a good stick figure?
All right. So you're going to use the Pearl Jam Alive stick figure for your logo.
That's right. And I'm going to have Craig wear the 1994 concert T-shirt from it.
Nice. All right. Well, we will see if this will come to pass. Trade time, trading guys, excellent. Most excellent.
Way. This just in. Late breaking news. Trade time. Craig Kubicek trades away Des Bryant for Golden Tate from Josh.
You're kidding, right?
I am not kidding. It just happened literally.
Oh, this is like one of those like trade deadline jokes.
No, it's not April. So it is the real deal. Craig traded away probably one of his best players for second fiddle.
Second fiddle, because Golden Tate is second fiddle to Calvin Johnson.
Sure is. The only reason he got a lot of points was Calvin Johnson was hurt.
Wow. This is interesting. I have a couple of things to say. The first thing I want to say is that it's almost like, it's 1:58 a.m. You're at the bar, you're feeling really, really desperate. And you're just looking for someone to go home with. And you look across the bar and you see Golden Tate and you're like, not really that attractive, but I'm drunk. Whatever. I'll sleep with him. I'll bang him. It's something. Because I can't think of any other reason why you'd trade away your number 1 stud receiver, well, I guess number 2 behind Antonio Bryant, for a second fiddle player. This is just crazy.
Well, first off, I'd like to say that from being a bartender to a Britsy, I know from the past that Craig is the king of the 1:58 a.m. pickup. Always looking across that bar and making sure telling me to buy so-and-so a couple of drinks of whiskey for the road. And he would always leave, and, he never tells anything because he says, I'm a gentleman, I don't tell. Maybe he's a sleaze bucket, picking up these girls that aren't rated a 5 or below from the Wimber scale, and taking them home to his grandma's house and showing them a good time. Or who knows? Maybe took them over to Justin's porch, and Justin just made sure Sarah was sleeping, and just told Craig to keep it on the down low. And Craig barely talks anyway, so I could imagine him not showing any emotion or emitting any emotion out of his mouth. All right, I got way off topic.
Way off topic.
What were we talking? Golden Tate. Yes. I don't know. Well, Craig probably is under pressure. It's a bye week. He needs all the help he can get. He's trying to. It's all about win now, and he's trying to make those playoffs. And he knows if he loses one more game, he's out. This is trying to prevent that final nail in the coffin. And he called Josh up and said, "Hey, Josh, you want Des Bryant?" And I'm sure Josh is like, hold on one second.
Is this
And
a
then-
prank caller?
Yeah, well, no, he said, wait, Craig? Yeah? Hold on a minute. And then he put the phone down and he twerked. he did his twerk all over the kitchen table. He was like, twerkable, twerkable, twerkable. Work it, twerk it, twerk it, work it. Then he got all calm, put his phone back up and said, yeah, sounds like a good trade. Okay, I'll do it right away.
And in his head, he's thinking like, am I going to be the first person to rape Kabisic? He's like, this is going to feel so good. I might rape the raper. And, I mean, I just,
Rape the raper?
yeah. I mean, you've heard of don't fear the reaper. Well, Josh just raped the raper.
Rape the raper. Jesus.
I mean, Craig is obviously desperate. I just want to point this out that, first of all, Golden Tate I don't know Craig knows all of this, but because he would never, willingly get raped unless he knew it was going to happen. And he clearly knew. He just basically said, I'm just going to bend over, make it quick.
Craig even bought Josh the condom. Said, here you go. Make sure it's over real quick. I want it to happen. That's right. I know it's still a rape, but I want it to happen.
And getting back to the stats, Golden Tate is ranked 39th overall under Yahoo's actual rankings, and Des Bryant's 20th. That's like it's double the ranking, Like, he's twice as good. And Josh's team, I know he has to give up a little bit, and he's got a long shot at making the playoffs, but I'm sure he's thinking like, hey, if I can get through this week, I'm golden, Ha! No pun intended.
Oh, man. Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, I was really surprised. I guess, I don't know why Craig didn't stick with his initial Jarvis Landry. He's already got one catch for 10 yards. The guy's like a PPR machine lately. And you go and give Des Bryant up? I mean, the next 2 weeks, you want to win 1 week. What about the next 2 weeks? I mean, I personally am thrilled that you got rid of Des Bryant, especially in week 12 or 13 when we play each other. I'm very happy about not staring at your lineup and going, oh, God, Des Bryant, another like 10 catch, 180-yard, 2-touchdown night, because he likes it, and he's all about his contract coming up. And, I mean, don't get us wrong, Golden Tate is a good player. He performed lights out, but I just think with Calvin Johnson
20
in the mix,
points, 15 to 20 points, possibly
I was thinking
more.
10 to 15.
Okay.
But we'll see how it goes. Craig's always been an interesting person to watch with his lineup and what he does. This is definitely one of the things that we want to see what happens.
Very shocking.
Yeah, I mean, now it went from Antonio Brown and Des Bryant to Antonio Brown and Malcolm Floyd.
This will forever, more than likely, forever be known as the rape herd around the world.
Wow. I don't think anybody ever wants to hear a rape around the world. I guess it will be, but if it works, it might be heard as the best rape ever.
Best rape ever. That's great.
That might be what Craig's shirt will be then. Instead of a one-man wolf pack, it'll be like best rape ever.
Yeah.
And I can't believe we're talking about rape like this.
I just have one final question for Craig. After Josh was done raping you, did he also give you a golden shower?
Oh, jeez. Only
Sorry.
you, Brian.
I'm usually not that dirty, but I had to. It was too easy.
And you could not pass it up. Jeez. I wasn't even thinking about it.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but that might be the last trade before the deadline. You probably have about 3.5 hours before the official deadline. Maybe some guys are working some last-minute trades we don't know about. So we shall see.
I tried like hell to get some people. Almost thought I had one. Wasn't able to get it through. It would have been great. I just wasn't willing to give up a key piece of the team. But I respect the person I tried to trade with. He gave me his reason why, and I couldn't argue with him. And my hats off to him. But I personally hope you lose because it's better for me. Nothing against you.
Whoever you are,
Yes,
Dowling doesn't kiss and tell.
no kiss and tell.
All right, podcast fans, we have a really special treat for you this week. And no, it's not Josh or Dub C or some like mediocre interview. They always say if you're going to go out and get one interview, the best interview, you go for the guy at the top, and we got him. I don't know how we got him, but we got the commish here with us live over the phone. So welcome to the show, commish.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm honored. I'm honored to even in the same breath as out there.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm honored to be in the same breath as those aforementioned names that you had listed there earlier.
You're being very PC, being politically correct. I see.
I thought you were going to say you're honored to be in the same breath as the two podcasters.
Well, that goes without being said. I mean,
well, Jimmy, we have a few questions for you, and if you have time, I thought it would be kind of interesting to do a live debate with your opponent this week, the Huber Squashers. Would you be interested in doing that if we have time?
I would love to do that if we have time. Sure.
All right. Well, first of all, we're really excited that we finally get to talk to the man behind the curtain, the man who's pulling all the strings, the man who basically the Wizard of Oz, the man who controls Craig Kubicek so well. I mean, he is a very hard individual to control. He's like a stallion, just like his shirt he was wearing, the one-man wolf pack.
One-man wolf pack. I love that shirt.
So, first question. In the very beginning of the season, we talked about worst pick, best pick, and we wanted to give you a chance to kind of give your 2 cents on where you think you did the best and where you did the worst this year. So, what do you think?
Well, hands down, it would have to be my best pick was Devontae Freeman. I mean, he's done absolutely everything I hoped. I mean, all the hype was just all there, and he broke through with flying colors. I mean, I'd have to say definitely Devontae Freeman. Seriously though, I mean, I guess it took me only 7 weeks to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I think Andrew Luck would have to be my best pick. I mean, he's the Peyton Manning of the New Guys Mad Titans. So definitely, I'd have to say Andrew Luck.
And what about your worst pick?
It's got to be Devontae Freeman, right?
Truthfully, I don't think I have a worst pick. Now, Devontae Freeman could be it. But I'd say I have a most disappointing pick, and that would be Eric Ebron. I read so much stuff about him in the preseason. He was supposed to be the best rated football player in 20 years or something like that. And yet he's not. They don't use him at all. So I would say he's my most disappointing. Definitely Eric Ebron. And to say that Craig he pointed to me and he said, that's somebody I was looking out for too. I knew he must have been a good pick in the beginning, but yeah, he didn't pan out.
He's only a rookie. I mean, give him time. I dealt to his uncle, and his uncle told me that he ran like a stallion and he had hands like a fly. He just caught everything that stuck to him. So, I mean, I trust his uncle. I might pick him up in 2 years as a 10th round keeper.
When did you draft him, Jimmy?
When did I draft Eric Ebron? I drafted him, 10th round. Nice pick there, Jet. It was the 10th round.
Thank you. I'm not even looking at the computer. I swear.
It was the 10th round.
Sure. I mean, that's not a bad keeper if somebody wants to pick him up because he's out there on the waiver wire, and Delling's leaving the room right now, which is fine. So it might be a good pickup for somebody if they're listening and they want to have a little gamble for next year. So just throwing it out there. Jimmy, I think it's interesting that your best player this year, Andrew Luck, undoubtedly the best quarterback fantasy player this year, was somehow let go by your brother. He has the absolute worst luck, pun intended, with quarterbacks. He let go of Peyton Manning when he could have had him, and then he also let go of Andrew Luck when he could have had him. So could you maybe give your brother some advice on how to draft a quarterback?
Well, I would love to do so, Peanut, but this is literally the first year I've actually done a good job. I think every year beforehand, the QB has been my Achilles heel. Last year it was Andy Dalton, who absolutely sucked, especially towards the end of the year. And then before that, I think it was Joe Flacco. I think I had him one year, and then Eli Manning. I mean, every year my QB has absolutely stunk. And seriously, I looked at my brother's squad from last year, and I was like, I got to get Andrew Luck. I sort of thought that he was going to go for Peyton Manning this year, and he surprised me with LaShawn McCoy. But I really thought that he might go Peyton Manning first overall.
I would totally agree with that. I would have thought Peyton Manning or Andrew Luck, Drew Brees, anybody with that first pick. But I actually thought that McCoy was too hard for him to resist, being a Philly boy and all.
Yes, he does have a false team. He's a homer, and true. That might actually be his Achilles heel, is that he loves to go after the Philly guys. So this year, I mean, it's actually not that too bad, but yeah, definitely. I don't know, maybe Chip Kelly. Maybe he should call up Chip Kelly and talk to him a little bit.
All right. Well, next question we have for you. It's kind of a softball question, but what is the hardest part of being the commissioner? This is like third season now?
I believe so.
Third season, and clearly it's not like you've got really big shoes to fill from a couple years ago. And but would it be something like tracking schmucks like me down to pay money? Is it like telling people like Josh that certain rules have been in place for several years and no, you can't just change it? Like, what do you find the most annoying thing about being commissioner?
I would have to say the toughest part. I mean, there are the tree moments out there where, especially right in the beginning, where it was pretty tough there. Craig and I had to make a decision, and he was pretty fuming. Tracking down you and Josh, it wasn't too bad. Dealing with the constant trash talk by some guy who said he's a squasher of Hubers, but I think definitely the thing that I say is probably the toughest about being commish is keeping Craig in line. He's sort of like a panda bear. He's like all cute and cuddly on the outside, but dangerous nonetheless. He's like, you want to go into the cage and feed him, but ultimately it's just a bad idea. So I'd say that's probably the toughest part. I mean, he really is. He's a wild one. I mean, from his videos, like, he just can't be contained. He's all over the place. He's energetic. He's throwing out expletives everywhere. I mean, he's somebody I got to wrangle every day, and it's tough. It's tough.
That's good. That's good.
I would actually, with that comment being said, I would like to say that I think me and Craig had a good combination going. If you were comparing him to a panda bear, I was compared myself to a koala bear. The fact that I was only awake for 2 hours out of the day, and I never really worried about Craig because I was too busy sleeping and smoking weed to care. But I can get violent if I didn't have my weed. I would definitely smack Craig around if I had to.
And you would probably really enjoy the ladies in Australia as well. So.
Oh my God! Hands down.
I think that would be it. Though I think it is the only place in the entire world where you could go swimming in the ocean and get eaten by both a crocodile and a great white shark. So I think
something I'm not willing to find out.
Yeah. Don't take up surfing.
All right, Commissioner, another easy question for you. What would you say is your favorite Josh team name this year? He's had quite a few doozies.
Wow.
And I'm figuring you're a fan from home, so what's your favorite?
Seriously, I'd say most were too absurd for me or just plain bad. But even though I think that he thought that I had a problem with it, I would have to say the New Hobos Mad Midget for sure. It was so out from left field. I really was taken aback when I saw that for the first time. I didn't know exactly what to say about it, and I mean, just the name itself and the trash talk that came afterwards sort of threw me off my game that week. And you guys saw, I mean, it was a little too close for comfort with Josh. I strictly attribute that to his name for sure. I just kept on looking at a little guy, like a little Chucky doll, coming after me the entire time, with a stick and a little handkerchief over his shoulder, and it creeped the hell out of me. So, yeah, definitely that one.
All right, nice. So clearly, you've been sitting on top of the league for the entire season, and now you're finally sharing first place with Tree. Still, you have a clear, commanding lead on points, but overall, when you look at everyone's rosters, which teams might make playoffs, I'm not worried. This question isn't really about the regular season, but more so in the playoffs. Which team do you think you're most afraid to play in the playoffs in fear that you might, fall victim to a loss?
Yikes. Seriously, Three Sites is actually my downfall when it comes to the playoffs. Him and Craig, I'd have to say, are the two that I play the most in the playoffs. And obviously I've never made it to the top, so I'd have to say those two right there. I mean, the Peyton Manning is just scares the crap out of you, and Tree's ability to pick these little gold nuggets from the waiver wire, which he has obviously in multiple positions this year. That's scary. I'd say that Craig's wide receivers literally make you check your underwear at the end of the night. Def QB, both of them are scary. One goes down, the other one throws 6 touchdowns. I don't know, the list goes on and on. I'd have to say overall, Tree Sites just scares me because he always beats me either handily or by last year in the playoffs. That haunts me literally every day of my life. that I lost by 0.1 points. I think it was 0.1. It was either 0.1 or 0.01, but it was literally it was a running back tripping on his shoelaces away from winning that game, and I just couldn't do it. We could have made an East Coast sweep last year, and I dropped the ball on it, literally.
Well, speaking of the teams that you fear, Kavitsky, I always fear his team as well, but you have an opportunity to potentially completely knock him out of the playoffs. I think that's next week, where you're going to go up against him after you play Delling, so you could actually seal that one up yourself.
I mean, yes, after I do beat Detling, it'll be a nice, it'll be nice going right into squashing the number 2 and making sure that he knows who's the actual commissioner. I'm looking forward to that opportunity. I don't envy my schedule coming up. I don't, even though we may have this a debate later on. I would have to say I'm actually looking at our matchup right now for me and Det, and there's a couple on there that I don't look forward to, but it's a play of the cards really. I'm looking forward to knocking Craig out because like you said, you have to make sure that the Panda Bear is happy, but he stays behind the glass wall. So, I'm looking forward to it. just give him something to eat and leave him alone. That's what I feel like I'm going to do next week. I'm just going to,
Um,
Uh-oh. I'm breaking up here.
can you hear?
I'm breaking up. Yay! I sort of,
Recorded.
So, Jimmy, the question I had before we kind of lost our connection was, did you happen to see Craig's video cast this week, his recap?
I actually did. I watched it today while I was eating my lunch, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Wait,
I
wait,
watch
you
it
actually-
religiously every week.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I listen to it every week, but I can't stare into Craig's eyes for an hour every week.
You know what? I think you caught me in a partial lie. You caught me in a partial lie. Yes, I do listen to it every week. I don't necessarily watch it every week. Sometimes I'll be sketching something. I probably drew my avatar while I was listening to one of his casts there. So yeah, that's definitely true. I probably see the first 3 seconds only to see what shirt he's wearing that week because it always pertains to something going on.
I mean, if he would show a little more skin, we might be able to watch a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not so sure about that.
If he would do it in costume every week, that would be something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the question was, did you see the end of his podcast when he couldn't contain himself? He kept on getting giddy like a schoolgirl. Do you think he's excited about this week? He must have said, "I can't wait for this week's matchups. I can't wait. I can't wait." I just felt like it was really funny watching him. And I guess, is that what you deal with on a weekly basis with him?
Absolutely not. I mean, I don't see the same thing you guys see. He obviously doesn't care about fantasy football at all. I mean, he's so disinterested with it all. I mean, what kind of work does he really put into our league? I mean, totaling the scores, yeah, sure, right? Doing an hour and a half podcast just by himself in a low lit room. I mean, that doesn't show dedication. So I'm not sure how excited he really is. He is pretty. In all seriousness, he is playing Tree Size this week. So I don't know. I mean, I know that he has a scary team from week to week sometimes. And his avatar this week. Did you guys see his avatar? I mean,
I saw it. It's beautiful.
That's intimidating right there. That's an intimidating avatar this week. So. I don't know. He doesn't have Des Bryant that's playing this week. He has Landry from Miami playing. Yikes. I have a scary. I mean, I sort of have to beat that this week because I think Craig may be throwing Tree a little bit of a soft pitch. I'm not sure how Tree Size could really screw this up actually this week. So I think my road to the playoffs is going to be a little bit more of a challenge.
Well, we're going to let you go here in a minute, Jimmy, but we just have one more quick question for you.
Sure.
And that is, it looks to me like you are going to be the only person from Eastern PA that's going to be represented in the playoffs. And more than likely, unless you really fall quickly, you're probably going to have a bye week. So first of all, is that a lot of pressure? Because it could be the first West Coast, Western PA draft in a while. And also, if you do manage to win, have you picked out your big boob restaurant yet?
I actually think if I were to win, we may actually do a tour of Big Boob restaurants. We'll do the first half at one. We'll travel to the other, and we'll do the second half. And I'm just going to make it a huge. I mean, not to use the word too lightly, but a huge event. Yeah, I definitely. It is a ton of pressure. I'm not going to lie, and especially since literally every year nobody gives me a chance of making the playoffs. I do have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I definitely know how much of a challenge it is. I'm looking at the other teams that look like they're going to make it, and it's not a Powerpuff League, that's for sure. This is a man's game right here. Definitely a man's game.
All right, that's true. Anyways, we just want to thank you for coming on the show. We know you're really busy with your commissioner duties, but thanks for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule to talk with us. Any final words, Detling?
It's always a pleasure to have you online on our show, and I will be civil for a little bit. But I do hope that I beat you. I get matchup. I wish this was a championship matchup because this is like one of the ultimate matchups of the year. Everybody is like geared, ready to go. I mean, Tom Brady versus Indianapolis, and Andrew Luck versus New England playing against each other. This is a Sunday night game that's going to race home from work to watch every single snap. And I am just praying that it's a score fest and a lot of balls go Brent Fell's way. And also that possibly, Matt Forte really stick. I don't want him to get hurt, but I think he should stick up. Well, maybe Cutler will stick up the joint again. Because after all, that's to be Brian. I bet on Cutler, and I was right. So I am looking forward to this matchup more than anybody, maybe the whole year. Time for the Huber Squashers to step up. I hope you've seen my avatar.
I do. I see that right now. I see it. Yeah, I definitely see it.
Hope it entertains you.
It's definitely entertaining. I think the way it could be better is if it was literally the last game of the season. That would be even better. But yeah, it's definitely been worked up over the last 9 weeks. I think this is. I think this is pretty good. I'm just praying to God that Andy Dalton doesn't screw me again. So this last week he literally. What was it, like the fourth worst QB play of in the NFL's history last week? So yeah, it didn't help.
Well, I want to know for sure that Craig is creasing his pants on this matchup.
Hello?
Hello. Hey. I missed that last part.
I said one thing for sure is that Craig Kavicic is definitely creaming his pants at this matchup.
I think he may give us an actual half-hour segment all by itself next week. I think, and that means that his recording will only be about 2.5 hours. So I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I think he may be more excited about this on our standpoint than his own matchup this week, I think.
All right, Jimmy. Well, thanks for coming on the show, and best of luck to you this week.
Well, thank you very much, guys. It was my honor, my privilege, and I'm happy that Detling made me a commissioner with a unanimous vote 3 years ago.
And we wouldn't have it any other way. All right. Have a good night, Jimmy.
You too.
Ryan, I got the paper here today. Let's see what we got.
What are you doing? Checking out like scores or what?
It's time. No, scores. Trying to check out the obituary.
Oh,
Looking
man.
for Craig.
Let's see if he's in here again.
Okay.
Okay, flip through here. Okay. Anything?
I don't have Craig, but I got a couple people.
Oh no. Who passed away?
None other than McCoy's homeboys and the Rook.
Let's see what it has to say here. First of all, before we read McCoy's homeboys obituary, how the hell is Craig still alive?
I don't know. He's drinking the Fountain of Youth. I don't know what he's doing. Crazy trades. He's just he's a scrapper.
He is.
He's that guy. He's like Michael Myers. Keep killing him. And he keeps coming back.
That's right. He just beat the Grim Reaper. He just beat death in checkers, I think. That's the equivalent to passing this week.
Craig Wood played checkers.
He would. So, anyways, here's what it says. Obituary for McCoy's homeboys. He went far too early. He started off so bright, with such a bright future. He will always be known as the man who drafted the best team. Unfortunately, he will also be remembered as the manager who passed on Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning in the same draft. We thought he would have learned his lesson last year, but apparently it takes 3 drafts for him to learn. He will also be remembered for hit the bright spots in his year where he defeated the Rook 172 to 129.65. But more importantly, he'll be remembered for defeating the Springfield Isotopes 171.05 to 161.85. Truly a wonderful moment that he probably won't forget after this year is over. Because anytime you beat the Isotopes, you smile a little bit more than you normally would. Cause of death, LaShawn McCoy and Percy Harvin. Rest in peace, McCoy's homeboys. Rest in peace.
All right, and the other person in the obituaries here is the Rook. He was laid to rest a long time ago, but he was fighting all the way until that pillow was finally put over his face and pushed down, and he could not breathe anymore. Now, we have many causes. He had 2 big victories, one against the Huber Squashers, which he had a 137 to 130. Big win for him, and then he followed that up by beating the Pawn, Josh, by like 1 point something or other. I don't have it written down. My editor did not write down the scores. It's all right. We'll get through this. Now, one of the biggest things was, besides looking like Jack Black, Gags was addicted to his team from last year. He made a couple stupid trades. That was the death of him right there. He traded away Lacey for Andre Johnson and Steven Jackson, both big parts of his team last year. Did not produce. Then he traded away Antonio Gates for Trent Richardson. I don't know what he was thinking there. And then the big kicker was Deshaun Jackson for Jordan Cameron. I mean, at this point, the way I compare this is that he was so confident and cocky from winning that championship last year that he sat down with the league and he played a game of Russian roulette. He gave us all 6 bullets to his 1 with these trades. He said, no, have another bullet. Take Deshaun Jackson. Have a second bullet. Take Gates. You know what? Have 2 more. Take Eddie Lacy. I'm still going to win this league. You guys are terrible. Heck, I'll draft Halushki in the 8th round. We're going to kill you. So, and the other old men on his team, Phillip Rivers and Reggie Bush, both failed him miserably. I mean, his whole team started breaking down. I look at him. I don't even know what to say. I can't even give a good word about this. I'm sorry. I hope you're back next year, and I hope you're revived, and I hope when you actually win the trophy that you put it in your house and you aren't afraid of your wife. So, rest in peace, Rook. We'll see you next year at the draft. Final word. Cause of death, old man trades.
This week's matchups. Sorry, hope I didn't get anybody sick there.
Get it together. All right, Brian. These week's matchups. This might single-handedly be the most important week in all of fantasy football for this league. Craig mentioned it about how everybody needs something. Like every single game matters. We all want to win, of course, but there's always got to be somebody to lose. And Craig he's giddy with excitement. He's so happy. As am I. I mean, it speaks volumes to our league that it's so difficult. Because I remember back when we first started, there's definitely clear-cut people who were better than the other people.
So would you say it was easier to win?
No, I mean, there was 8 teams. So it was harder to win. Don't stick words in my mouth, Brian.
I almost got you there, man.
You almost did, but you didn't. So, but no, as Craig said, the intelligence is definitely picked up. We've had a couple of people who surprised us, and a couple people that haven't done so well that have surprised us. Now I'm excited. I can't wait to see all these matchups. I wish I had off on Sundays. I'm not as lucky as Craig and Justin, and you. As now that I think about it, a couple other people probably too. I'd love to watch this play out, but I'll have to deal cards to people that are complaining.
At least you get to see Sunday night, which is the big matchup.
Yes, Sunday night and Monday night, and I don't get to see the Steelers too often, but when I do, I like to sit down and watch every play. Now we got a lot of things going on here. And should we get to the matchups? Should we talk some more about it, Brian?
Just a little bit more. I too, although we make fun of Craig about getting too excited, we all get excited about it. I think everyone does. I don't know too much, like if Jeff and Gags and everybody else follows it real close, but I assume that they do a little bit. And if they don't, then get out of the league. Just kidding.
Whoa! Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, like it is cutthroat. Everyone puts a lot of effort into setting their lineups and just to try to make some trades and watch the waiver wire. So this is when it matters the most. Week 11, a couple of teams could be potentially knocked out completely. Although Craig says it could be a year where a 6 and 7 team gets into the playoffs.
I don't see that.
Me neither. Just because he could be 6 and 7.
Yeah, he wants it to be him.
Yeah, of course.
Which we don't want it to be him, of course.
No. But I think it's still going to take 7 and 6. But we shall see. And there's a lot riding on it. So let's get right into it. How about it?
Well, before we get into that, I want one more thing to point out. If anybody was watching Craig's video cast, you saw the shirt. We are always entertained by his shirts. He has a select few that he wears all the time. Much like Lisa Gore back in high school, she used to wear a pair of white shorts and a pair of black shorts, and you could guess them on each day, and it was fun. But much to everyone's chagrin. Now with Craig, he's wearing the One Man Wolfpack shirt, and the thing is, it cuts off you start to see the picture of the character. I guess it cuts off at the forehead, and you can't see the eyes. But if you'll notice on a T-shirt, the hair matches the exact type of hair that Craig has on his head. Craig is slowly trying to become, or if not, has already become Zach Galifianakis' character from that movie, The Hangover. Now, I am wondering if he actually gets into character so much that we'll have to worry about him coming down 56 and with a giraffe and getting it cut off at the overpass, I should say, by Naki Town. But we are worried about him. If we keep closer tabs on him, because I sure as hell don't want to have a bachelor party in Las Vegas and Craig gives everybody ecstasy and mushrooms and stuff like that without people knowing.
Okay, I think you said it all right there.
So be well, Craig.
On to the matchups. In the first matchup of the week, we have Dub C Hooligans going up against the Rook. The Rook, who is playing from the grave, is still going to try and spoil the party for Dub C, who is going to try to take some money away from Gabisic for the knockout pool this week. And thus far, Dub C is up 3.6, but technically he's up 0.4 to 0. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty close matchup. Dub C is going to try to hold on to a 4th seed if he can win, and also get some money from the knockout. But I'm actually going to go with the Rook. Although he's playing from the grave, the only thing I really dislike about his whole team is St. Louis D going up against Denver and Trent Richardson. Maybe I should stop looking. But no, I like Phillip Rivers versus Oakland. That should be money. Martavis Bryant is bound to at least get 1 touchdown. Beckham Jr. is going off. He's legit. Edelman and Andre Johnson should put up some numbers. And looking at Dub C's side, he doesn't have everything in the world going this week. He's got Kendall Wright. He's got DeMarco Murray on the bench. I just think if you're going to beat Dub C, this is the week to do it, and I say the Rook does it. How about you, Det?
Can't believe you stole my thunder, Brian. I was going to pick the Rook too.
Awesome.
I'm still going to do it. Mostly the same reasons you do. He's got some pretty good points per reception receivers. Beckham, Bryant, Edelman, Old Man Jackson, stealing from Father Time, partying like it's 2009. Richardson, I feel like you got all these New England players. I think he's definitely banking on the fact that like Edelman and Tim Wright are going to get the balls thrown their way because it's going to be a high scoring affair. With Bean, I'm really shocked by Lamar Miller and Alfred Blue, but when you got Murray on the bench, there's nothing you can do. Bye-week blues. I really only think the way, I guess, I see the Rook coming back from the grave, raising one hand up and bitch slapping Kevin Bean across the face, saying, "I was champ last year, don't you forget it." And there's only one way that Bean can retaliate, and that's Rodgers versus Philadelphia, so that's the only way. All right, next matchup is the Detonators versus McCoy's Homeboys. And this one looks like it's going to be pretty competitive with the projections, 174 to 158. I'm always amazed when it has 158.00 because of the fractional points we put in. But it all says it all. Derek Carr, is it Derek or David? I can't remember. Versus San Diego. That's a tough one. Romo's on bye. But Carr threw like 4 touchdowns versus San Diego last time, so never know. And now Mark Sanchez's best friend, Jordan Matthews, playing lights out versus Green Bay. Brandon Marshall, if he's healthy. McCoy's lineups, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's just bad luck this year. But hey, Brian, I mean, he might have the. He's doing the same bet I did. Minnesota versus Jay Cutler.
I know, that scares me.
Yeah, I would scare me too. And then you got San Diego versus Carr, who threw 4 touchdowns. But you got Breeze versus Cincy. They got some of the best quarterbacks around. Let's see here. Doug Baldwin doesn't concern me. Vereen, it's a good matchup. You actually put him in the flex. Smart man. Bell, he's kind of like half a flex guy, but yeah, you got to get what you can. T.Y. Hilton versus New England. I'm actually excited to watch that one. That'll probably Darrelle Revis time.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I was thinking Talib, but he's on Denver. And Mike Evans, the bane of my freaking existence, taking everything from Vincent Jackson in the red zone. This is a tough one.
Do it.
I'm gonna go with you. I don't want to.
Well, I can understand why, since we're tied 5-5. I'm only 1 spot behind you, but I'm gonna agree with you. We got Jason playing from 6 feet under, and he had a rough season, and he might have one last gasp. I hope it's not against me. I hope it's against.
He had a great draft, though.
Great draft, one of the best drafts ever, and I think the biggest matchup is going to happen at 4:05. Derek Carr versus San Diego. That should tell it all. If Derek Carr sucks and San Diego benefits, that could be like a 40 to 60 point swing. But if Derek Carr lights him up, again, it could be another 40 to 50 point swing. So I think that's going to really tell this tale. We both have okay matchups. He does have a nice roster. I just hope that Foster isn't healthy yet, even after the bye. I heard Marshall tweaked an ankle. Kind of hope he's not healthy. Of course, I got Bennett, who's also got the rib injury. But I got to go with myself. I need 2 more wins. I got 3 more players. The good news is for me, as Craig pointed out in the video cast, I'm playing all bottom feeders. This is one more example of the fantasy gods shining a light on me saying, "Detonators, welcome to the promised land." They're saying, "We're going to give you McCoy's Homeboys, The Rook, and Josh." And I'm not too excited about Josh anymore since he's got Des Bryant.
Yeah.
But at least I have the first 2 that I mentioned. So I'm hoping I can get it done. I know Jason would rather see me than you in the playoffs. So I'm sure he's actually cheering for me. But like a man, he's not laying down. He's putting a quality team in there.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. The integrity of the league. But I just hope they don't pull through. So good luck, Jay. but not too much. Next matchup, we have You My Puddin', who stands strong with his team name and his logo the entire year. If you recall, last year he had a lot of fun with his team names. It scared the hell out of us. And this year he stayed true with his name, which probably because we confuses the hell out of us. And on the other side, we have Nick Foley and Dynamite. And without Nick Foles, of course. It's going to be a good matchup. Nick Foley and Dynamite's projected to win by 20. Right now he's got 3.1 with a couple catches from Wallace. It's going to be tight. I'm leaning towards You Might Puddin', even though he's a 20-point underdog. I just feel like the slasher movies, there's going to be one last scare, and he's going to murder one more person. And I'm going to put that murder on the hands of A.J. Green because they're going up against New Orleans, and I think they're finally going to have to do something and get Dalton's going to have to get the ball to Green at some point this year. This is going to be that week. Manning's going to have to throw against San Francisco. Could be tough, though. And I also like Gates going against Oakland. Ellington's going to have a tough run against Detroit. But if Cam Newton hasn't figured anything out yet from last week to this week, Atlanta's probably going to capitalize on that. But Nick Foley and Dynamite has a good team as well. He's got that double tight end threat. I'm surprised nobody was able to trade for either one of them because he put them on the trading block. And the Denver D. Denver D would be a great week to pick them up. They're playing against St. Louis. But I just don't feel good about Alshon Jeffrey again. Mike Wallace is going to get mediocre points. Kaepernick's more of a runner than a thrower. I'm going to put my money on You Might Puddin' this week. How about you, Det?
Oh, man, I love this matchup. This is great. Nothing would scare me more than turning around in a dark alley, seeing Michael Myers, and all he says is, "You might puddin'." I'd be like, I am dead meat. But, yeah, this is two quality teams here, standing at 4 and 6. Like you said, Kaepernick, that's a tough call. He actually just recently picked up Kyle Orton, or a.k.a. Matt Detling. I thought he was going to play him tonight. I was really looking forward to seeing I was like, did you picked up me to save your season? I wanted to see this. I wanted to see if I could do this. I was excited. I was like, this is like something you got. If it's like climbing a mountain that you shouldn't even be stepping on with hot lava and stuff. I say play Kyle Orton. It's too late now. Maybe next week. But yeah, I'm not impressed with You Might Puddin' at all. Andre Williams sucks. Michael Crabtree's terrible. Hopkins maybe. I mean, your A.J. Green is where it's at, and Ellington too versus Detroit. But once again, like you pointed out, it's against Detroit. Atlanta versus Carolina could give him some points. But you look over at Nick Foley and Dynamite here, and you say you're not very excited about Alshon Jeffrey, but I am because Brandon Marshall's hurt. So I expect a majority more balls going to be thrown in Jeffrey's face. Sorry, you got Pierre Garçon versus Tampa Bay. Wallace right now only got 2 for 11. He'll find out. Some way he'll get a touchdown. Then he's bringing back Rashad Jennings finally. I know Jimmy's saying finally because he had to sit there for weeks and weeks without this guy, and that's hurt him a lot. But the big thing is the two-headed monster, Jimmy Graham, Rob Gronkowski. You know, they're just a force to be reckoned with. And you got Denver versus St. Louis. They're starting Sean Hill as their quarterback now. It's looking like he could. The only weak link is Kaepernick. I mean, like you said, he's a runner. He's not a thrower. I'd be interested to see how it goes, and maybe he'll regret not putting me in. But I'm still going with Nick Foley and Dynamite.
All right. The one thing for sure, it's not mathematically complete. However, Nick Foley pretty much can kiss his Phillip Rivers jersey goodbye.
Oh yeah, exactly. He'll bring it to the draft, wrap it up in a pretty bow.
I mean, technically, if Jay and Gags both win out and he loses out, then he could still retain it. But I would not bet on that.
No, not bet at all. I'm pretty sure he's probably already got it ready to mail and get it out of his house as soon as possible.
Yep. So yeah, that's that matchup. We'll see how it goes.
All right, 1, 2. All right, this next matchup is Midgets Cut Hair versus FC Hayward. Original names. Great. No, they're terrible names. They're terrible. Midgets cut hair.
Yeah. Now, is that a dig at my mom? She's short. I know that, but she's not classified as a midget. All right. She might cut hair, but she's not a midget.
I think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying your mother is a midget. I don't know.
You go down to Eileen's Beauty Salon right now and you apologize.
I think you should. I think you should leave a note on the door with a handful of chocolates and a couple of lottery tickets. That is the proper way to apologize to Miss Volsko. Anything with gambling, she loves.
That's right. Or a chocolate chip cookie.
Ooh, chocolate chip cookie. On to the matchups. Enough. Quite simply, looking over these teams, I still don't know how Josh is 5-5.
Is he good?
No, but what can you do? I think he beat me. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he beat me. But Julius Thomas is what he's got. Jeremy Maclin, who's now second fiddle to Jordan Matthews. Terrence West, one of my scrappers. Cam Newton, I don't understand. How do you have Cam Newton as your starting quarterback?
Get Julius Thomas in there.
Yeah, Julius Thomas. Seattle defense versus KC. At KC, though. But look over Justin. He's got that Matt Ryan, Julio Jones connection. We love it. Jordy Nelson, the farmer. Guy gets out. I mean, he's like the invisible farmer on that field. Nobody knows where he is. He just appears out of nowhere, and he's freaking wide open every time. It's disgusting.
Just plowing those fields.
Plowing those fields, man. Over the shoulder or off shoulder catch. I mean, it's beautiful. Then you got freaking. Might as well mail a bag of Skittles to Justin here for Marshawn Lynch. Guy goes beast mode, 4 touchdowns, and you could actually see that the Rook, speaking of which, last matchup, still had life. He still wanted to win in this league because I saw his Facebook. And he said, "God damn it! What are you doing, Giants? There's only one thing you have to do: stack the box, stack the damn box." And he was pissed because that's the only reason he lost. It's the only reason he lost to him. If Marshawn Lynch had a normal day, he would have beat him, and he knows it. And Justin knows he escaped with a win. He is lucky. He could easily be 6-4 and worried about falling into the 6-5, 6-6 territory. So you're lucky, Justin. I hope you realize it. And
hold on. I just want to point out, I think I caught that comment as well from Gags, and that just kind of puts a little tear in your eye because you know that he still cares, even if he's down in the basement. He still wants to win. Hopefully, he's a Tonto's demise lifer, because he puts that kind of passion out there. So hats off.
Hats off. Definitely hats off. Without further ado, I'm picking Justin. I hate to do it, but I'd rather have him win than Josh. And I think he has a better team.
Absolutely. No offense, Josh. You might be able to level a foosball table, but you don't know how to put together a fantasy football team. Am I right?
No, you are right. If I could sum it up in a haiku, I would. But I was not prepared.
And I meant to bring that up earlier in the show. We kind of just had too many segments this week. But Josh, incredible haikus this week. I loved every one of them. Some more than others, but great job.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot if he beat me or not because his poem title was "I Beat You." I beat you. I beat you. Yes, Josh beat me.
He did, and I liked how he called you a pussy in your haiku this past week.
Wow,
it was great. Anyway, your team. I can't believe you're still putting Cam Newton in there. This is the 4th week in a row. Are you just doing this for a laugh now? He didn't know what the hell's going on last week. He could barely walk, and he just couldn't get anything done. You're still going to start him.
Wounded animal.
Wounded animal. Just put him out of his misery. And I think that's a great analogy for Josh's team. It's a wounded animal right now. And good thing hunting season is just around the corner because you're about to be top prize in somebody's game. You're going to be hung in someone's mantle, or in somebody's game room. Your head is just going to be smiling while, they're out there playing pool, throwing darts. And you're having a few beers and a few laughs. You're going to see Josh's head mounted just with a grin, with a little bowl cut.
I think that might be the only time I've ever heard the words Josh Hayward and hung put together.
That's good. I never have heard Stacy say that. Anyway, back to your matchup. I'm not even going to really do too much besides say the names of the people that are worth mentioning on his team. That's Julius Thomas and Seattle D. Barely. Obviously, on Justin's side, he's a lock for the playoffs. He's got a couple players going right now, Buffalo D and Sammy Watkins. Not doing a whole lot. Although Buffalo's D's got a fumble recovery and a sack. And I don't think it's going to matter what happens tonight, though. What's going to matter is what happens on Sunday at 1 o'clock against Carolina. Cam Newton's probably going to get hurt. Well, that'll help him probably. But Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, connection, done. That's all you need. And beast mode, period. So you're in the playoffs already, so you're going to try and hold on to a third so you can probably face me or Detling with the 6th seed. So that's what I'm guessing. So good luck. Both of us take midgets cut hair. Anything else, Det?
No, I'm pretty good there. You summed it up.
Josh, although you will probably be buried in 2 weeks or so, don't forget how great it felt to rape Craig.
So wrong.
All right, in the next matchup, we have the Springfield Isotopes with definitely the best avatar of the week. He made his own custom tuna belly bow.
I'd buy that.
I would buy that in a heartbeat. Tree, tell Alicia to make a Springfield Isotopes tuna belly bow with Homer Simpson in the middle. You have 2 buyers right now. Probably 3 because Craig would buy it. And going up against Possum Magic, who's riding his 8-game winning streak, hasn't seen a loss since week 2, all the way back in early September, which is crazy. We're in mid-November. I think that the winning streak continues. I know Isotopes are desperate enough to trade away Des Bryant, and I don't fault him for it that much. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I don't fault him because he's trying to put everything he can up against Possum Magic. Unfortunately, the projections show he's down at least 25 points right now, and I think it's going to come back to bite him because I think even if he wins, Golden Tate is still nowhere near as good as Des Bryant, with or without Tony Romo. But I'm going to look at Possum Magic's lineup first. You got Manning, no Hillman this week. He's decided to keep him out for now. But Manning's still going to be good for at least 48. That's what they're projecting. But against St. Louis, unless they bench him, he's probably going to get 60. Calvin Benjamin, he's the one bright spot on Carolina's team, that's for sure. Fitzgerald, who knows if he gets back together with, who's it, Stanton?
Yep, Drew Stanton.
Who might get back together with him. Keenan Allen against Oakland, that doesn't scare anybody. Mark Ingram has been a beast. Even against Cincinnati, their defense has done crap. Look what the Browns did. McKinnon versus Chicago should do something. Up and down, I like his team. Detroit versus Arizona, that could be up in the air. But Greg, he's putting the best team he has together. He did everything he could to put Charles in the flex, which is a good move. You know, he's playing Malcolm Floyd and Tate. Well, let me put it this way: he's playing Floyd and Asiata and Blunt just to make sure he can get Jamarl Charles in the flex. It's another bye week that's hitting him kind of hard. Tough time, but he's on a 3-game winning streak, I think. Is it 3 or 2?
I think it's
2.
2?
2 or 3, but Craig's on a roll, and very soon his fate will be told. Well, if he wins this week, 3-game winning streak, so he's trying to make it 4. He needs to win out. He knows it. Well, maybe not. Like he said, he could squeak in as a 6 and 7 if all the cards fall the right way. I just think there's probably a 2% chance of that happening. It is mathematically possible. But, you know, no one's going to be pulling more for the Isotopes than Craig this week. But I'm not one of those people. I'm going to be going with the Possum Magic this week for his 9th win. How about you, Det?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. This thing's amazing. I love this matchup. Craig versus Tree. 2 Johnstown guys. 2 good guys. Like you said, Craig's trying to pull out everything he can, every card he has, all the money that he has, just for one more win. He's gambling. He's gambling on that roulette ball, landed on number 9, the one that it's like a 2.4%. Now you look at Tree's team here. He's got Peyton Manning lights up the board all the time, but then for me, the rest of his team it happened to me. His team just lulls you to sleep. You're like, Calvin Benjamin's okay, Larry Fitzgerald's okay, Keenan Allen's okay, Mark Ingram, McKinnon, all these guys. Yeah, you're just like, they're all right. But then all of a sudden, like, I don't know what happens. Like somebody put it all together and it just adds up to like 160 to 220 every week. And you just don't know what happened. I mean, sure, I would be tree if I would pick the right quarterback, but I'm not mad. Sure. I would have ended his 8-game streak. Or it would have been like 6 games. No bad. He's got Detroit versus Arizona with Drew Stanton. Probably going to mob the guy all day. We got, on one side, Craig hopes that Asiata gets all the touchdowns that McKinnon gets through the 20 hash lines. Bradshaw, he's an angry runner. He's going to be pissed versus New England, so watch out. Mark Ingram, I'll never doubt this guy again. I remember being at the draft. I was there with Tree.
But do you think 24 points is reasonable?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Might get some end zone carries. He got like 20 some points against me. I don't care. It could happen. Third round he drafted. The whole table whispered, "What the hell's he doing? Mark Ingram, really? What's going to get that guy in the 14th round?" Tree doesn't know. Tree's throwing the season. Tree doesn't care. Look at that. And I was like, and then the next thing was Alan Hearns. Who the hell's that? Is that the water boy? And people were laughing and Craig, and Tree just said to me, he's like, Dad, I'm just here to have fun. Just having fun. And what a liar he is. He wasn't having fun. He was here to kill us. And we didn't know what happened. He was like,
It was too late.
he was like a poison gas. We didn't even see it coming.
Yep.
But yeah, so he's got this great team here, marching down. And then you got Craig over here, he's scrapping. Trades away Des Bryant. Sick to my stomach. Antonio Brown could have a great night versus Tennessee. Malcolm Floyd hoping for that deep ball. Golden Tate. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough pill to swallow when you got to trade Des Bryant for Golden Tate. But like I said, we're pulling it every day. He wants one win, one day at a time, one game at a time. Kyle Rudolph coming back from injury. Ugh. Jamal Charles, great pick, but against Seattle defense, not so great. But Washington versus Tampa Bay, could be good. And the projections for Stafford only having 39 points is way off. I mean, he's going to be throwing all day.
Nice pickup on Washington. I thought about doing that, but I have San Diego versus Oakland. Nice pickup.
Don't breathe on me.
Sorry.
You're sick. Blunt Asiata. Jesus, man. You might have to roll up a blunt after this game. But yeah, so I hate to say it, Craig, picking Possum Magic. It doesn't hurt me any. Definitely don't want to see you in the playoffs. Before you had Des Bryant, I definitely didn't want to see you in the playoffs. Now I'm not as against it. But we'll see what happens. Real excited for the matchup. We're going to watch it. And it's going to come all down to the Sunday night game. Can't believe you cut me off.
And what else do you have to say?
I got nothing else to say. Here it is, folks. The moment you've all been waiting for. The matchup of the week. New Gods, Mad Titans versus the Huber Squashers.
All right, so I'll be happy when this is over because I think, like everyone, we're tired of hearing all this hype for a Week 11 game. Come on. It's just a regular season game. All right, I'm downplaying it a little bit. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm glad that nobody's on a major bye week. You've got pretty much all your studs. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty good. I believe so.
If Torrey Smith is the only guy on your bench because of a bye week, that's still a pretty good week. You've got a pretty solid lineup. Torrey Smith has been hit or miss this year anyway. But anyways, getting into the matchup, clearly my heart wants Jimmy to win more than anything because it'll drop Dowling down a place. If I win, I can move back into 5th. However, my head, because of statistics and because of matchups, I'm going to go with Dowling. And I don't want to, but my logic is telling me to. So Jimmy, just understand that my heart will be cheering for you all weekend long, starting tonight with your 5 points from Dan Carpenter. So he's projected to get 7. He's more than halfway there. But, I mean, Jimmy, your team is great. However, this is just not your week. Andre Holmes doesn't scare anybody. Sanu, I don't think he's going to get much done. Jeremy Hill, I'd like to see Bernard in there instead of Hill. Booby Rainey. I mean, I think the main reason he's in is because you want Forte in the flex, which I don't blame you, but I don't think he's going to do a whole lot. Rivera got you a TD last week. Who knows? Maybe he'll get another TD this week. And Philly, although they're going to... Delling's belly just grumbled. He is so hungry for this matchup. But
Starving.
But Philly, I don't know if they're going to win that game, but they might get some points on turnovers or sacks. Then going over to Delling's side, Brady and Luck, I think they're going to potentially cancel each other out. I think he's going to get the edge, though, with Calvin Johnson, Randall Cobb. It's over like Sanu and Holmes. And then his running backs, he's got Matthews coming back. And Le'Veon Bell is going to do probably decent against Tennessee. Jordan Reed probably is a wash against Rivera. Cleveland D I like versus Houston. Bottom line, I think Delling wins this, but maybe only by like 5 or 10 points, and it'll be high scoring. However, I'll be much happier, Jimmy, if you can bring this one home. I'll let Delling see what he thinks about this matchup.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. First of all, Jimmy, I don't know if you really noticed it, but Brian, I think, just broke up with you. The way my heart really was with you. I'm basically, here's what I compare it to is you're like the college boyfriend, you wear like the potato sack shirt with the hemp necklace, and you're singing songs to Brian all the time, and oh, honey, I brought you a burger from the college cafe because I was thinking of you, or I picked a daisy out of the college garden because I was thinking of you, and I don't care if they subtract me $1,000 fine because my parents are paying for it. But and then all of a sudden, this guy in a Corvette or a Mercedes rolls up and says, baby, get in the car, I'll take you to the steakhouse, I'll buy you a new dress, I'll buy you that Dooney and Burke purse, whatever you want. And the guy doesn't give a shit about her, but he just knows that money talks and hippies walk. So, sorry, Jimmy, I'm sorry I got to take your girl from you like that. When I'm done with her, I'll bring her back, she'll be damaged goods by then, but if you're the hippie that I'm speaking of, you'll take her back like an idiot. Now, your team's kind of like a hippie too. I'm looking at, you got Luck. He's the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, hands down. From fantasy purposes, I shouldn't say it like that. But then you got Bobby Rainey, Jeremy Hill, Andre Holmes, Mohamed Sanu. Once again, you got two Bengals on your team. Mika Rivera, Micah, whatever the heck it is. Two Raiders. That's like a recipe for disaster. You got Forte. That's great. And Carpenter's already got 2 field goals. Like we said, of course, it's a field goal matchup. I don't know what's going to happen. Philadelphia versus Green Bay could be good. But then you go flying over to my roster. Like I said, it's like a Mercedes. Right, Brady,
keep it brief.
Jackson, Cobb, Johnson, Bell, Matthews, Reed, LaFell. Those are like my low-grade tires. McManus and Cleveland defense. We're flying. We're going full speed. We're a German car just going down the Autobahn. We're going to run over that little hippie. And that's all I got. I'm picking myself because Brian told me to be brief.
And, Delling, you'll have plenty of time to go home and roster bait all you want.
I might roster bait. But, I got one other thing I'd like to say to you, Jimmy, and it's in a little clip here at the end.
All right. And before we end this matchup, because we were able to get Jimmy on for an interview, we asked him to stay for an extra segment, and we did our first ever live debate. And yes, if you were on debate team, you know what I'm talking about. They each had a certain amount of time to respond. Of course, Delling was cut off a few times. I'll let the recording speak for itself, and you can decide who wins the debate if you want. Maybe you can, in their smack talk section, if you want to say who won the debate, go for it. But we're going to end today's show with the debate, and then I guess Delling has one more thing he wants to play. But yeah, good luck to both of you. It's going to be a good matchup. I can't wait till it's over. Well, I'm excited to report that we are going to have our first ever Tonto's Demise podcast live debate. I figure we've had so much hype about this matchup the entire season. I thought the only way to do it justice is to actually have both managers have a chance to sound off on the pros and cons of this matchup. And I'll give each of the managers 1 minute to respond to each of the questions, and the other will get a chance to respond if they care to. Gentlemen, do you understand the rules of this debate?
I'm really surprised that you actually call us gentlemen, but yes, I understand.
Yeah. I agree with that. There's definitely only one gentleman on the line, so.
That's a nice little jab right there.
Boom.
He was calling you the gentleman. Oh, boom.
All right, put your dukes down. All right, so first question, and this is going to go to Jimmy, and then Devin, you'll get a minute to respond as well. Very simple, but why will your team win this week? Jimmy, you're on the clock. Go ahead.
Besides having my awesome little speech that I said earlier about having luck on my side and winning is more my forte. I mean, that was just brilliant. I would have to say mostly because the universe must be balanced, and it's been too long. It's been too long since my brother or I squashed, as my brother put it, Bentley. I think it's about time. I think it's due. I think the universe needs to right itself, and I figured since I have two of the biggest villains in both Marvel and DC's universes as my avatar, that I should be the one to finally end this horrible streak that's been going on for way too long.
All right, thanks for that comment, Jimmy. Dylan, I'm going to give you the same minute. Why do you think your team will win this week, sir?
Oh, man, you better time because I might just rant all day. Listen, I'm playing against the Hubers. My team always steps up. I want to thank Jay for that name, the Squashers. Huber Squashers, great name. Also want to give Craig some credit. He came up with it. The reason I'm going to win this game, first of all, I got Tommy Terrific, Tom Brady, greatest guy in the world, married the most beautiful woman in the world. So obviously he's the greatest quarterback in the world. He's going to rise to victory over luck. Then I got the four-headed monstrosity of receivers, Vincent Jackson, Randall Cobb, Calvin Johnson back. I know he strikes fear in you. Brandon LaFell. By the way, the one Adam Sandler movie that I was watching was called The Cobbler. I call that Randy Cobbler. Let's see here. Cleveland defense. I never thought I'd say that, but the Cleveland defense is awesome. Now, the one thing, Jimmy, I'm sure I know you are time? Are we timing?
That's time.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. I didn't take more than a
Get out of here.
But it's interesting. Jimmy is speaking more universally about why his team will and should win. You're getting down to the nitty-gritty of players. So interesting approach to the beginning of this debate so far. We're going to move right into the second question, and that is, what is your opponent's weakest link? And Jimmy, I'll let you go first. 1 minute. Take it away.
The weakest link is actually Tommy Terrific because I know that he knows that he is playing me in fantasy this week, and I know a lot of beautiful ladies, and one of my friends is Giselle's personal friend, and she told me that she's going to wear him out the night before the game. So I have it down pat that the Indianapolis B is going to take care of Tom Brady this week. It's just I think it's about time, and he's just going to be way too tired. You know, you shouldn't do that stuff before a game. So he's going to wear him out.
Wow, I didn't know you had that kind of inside connection. So it won't be a surprise.
I'm the connection. I mean, I have all the connections. So, you know, I got to use them to the best of my ability.
I did pass him my Rolodex from when I gave him the commissioners.
That's great. Well, I think that it's only fair to give Detling the same 1 minute response as to what the weakest link on Jimmy's team is. So, Detling, take it away.
All right, you got cut off short last time. Well, you shut your mouth, Jimmy. Let me talk. Your weakest link is your avatar. I'm sending somebody over to your avatar. I'm sure you're a comic nerd just like me. One Mr. Doomsday. You know what I'm talking about? Some guy.
Yeah, I know who Doomsday is.
So, and
I know who
Superman.
Doomsday is.
So, look out. Your avatar is probably going to be all beaten up by the end. And Bobby Rainy Bobby. Now, I'm sorry, man. Not going to happen. Going to crush you.
All right. Finally, since you've both had a chance to talk about the highlights of your team, your opponent's weakest parts, I'm going to give you both 30 seconds just to kind of give your final comments, and we'll just kind of let it go at that because we're going to let your players do the final speaking, and then you can kind of we'll rehash this next week. But Jimmy, I'll give you the first 30 seconds. Say whatever you want. If you don't want to keep it G-rated, that's fine too.
But us Hubers were always G-rated. But I did want to address something that Dad told me. He said that I've not faced adversity this year. I think playing without Giovanni Bernard the last couple weeks has definitely been my adversity, and obviously I have to depend on Andy Dalton every week. So if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, I've been facing adversity since week one. So I don't see that this week is any different. Yes, Bobby Rainey is the bane of my existence this year, but I have a strong feeling he's going to do something glorious this week. Touchdown, maybe two, and surprise all of us. And I'm just hoping that he's the final move. He's the final chess piece that topples the Hubert Quasher's reign of terror.
All right, Delling, your final 30 seconds. Go.
All righty. Let me tell you something. I'm going to crush you. I'm going to squash you like a bug. That little kid in that avatar, he's going to fly through the Thanos and Darkseid. And a gentleman's bet, sir. At the end of this game, whoever wins buys the next person Guinness at the draft.
Are you sleeping to me?
I have nothing to say to that. I will definitely, you know what, win or lose, I'll still give you a Guinness at the draft because it'll be something for you to keep your attention on besides all the large-breasted women that will obviously be around us all the time. So
to be fair, I like the woman with the real breasts, not the fake breasts at the last place.
I would have to say our waitress at the last one, I think she was 100%. I think she was real.
That's the one I'm talking about.
The one that we had, we had Jeff. And I have to address them. Did you guys seriously not know that Mike Gagnon? It was Mike Gagnon. That his first name was Mike. Okay, I was just
we knew that. We were just playing.
I was just checking. So I wanted to. I know that we had Jeffrey's attention completely drawn on everything but fantasy football this week. So I know that it works for at least one or two teams, and it was all ploy on my part. I mean, I literally scouted the area for the most attention grabbing waitresses, and that was the one that I could find in the area. So.
Well, it worked. Jeff could not take his eyes off that one blonde. He kept literally telling me, "Look at that blonde. Look how big her boobs are." I was like, "Jesus, I'm trying to draft a team."
If you guys didn't see, I actually have my wallet. I have a picture of Amanda on the front, so I literally just had that face up the entire time. And she has this little look. She has a little look in it, that like, you know what you're doing. You keep your eyes right on page. Every time I looked at it, I was like, nope, I gotta keep it going. Gotta keep it going here. And obviously it worked to some degree since I am 8-2 right now. So, I guess my plan worked.
Well, I'm glad you guys can laugh together at the expense of Jeff and big boobs because I don't think there will be any laughing going on come Sunday night. I think it's going to be all...
Not on Dett's part, that's for sure. Not on Dett's part.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be tears in my face. gonna be tears in that Guinness.
As long as Hank Williams playing, I'll drink that Guinness with my tears if I lose. But if I win, it'll be talked about for years.
It will be talked about for years. It definitely will.
All right, Jimmy. Well, that's going to end our first ever debate on the Tondros Demise podcast. Gentlemen, thank you very much for participating.
Thank you,
Brian,
sir.
it was my pleasure.
All righty. Well, good luck to both of you in your big Week 11 matchup.
Virtual handshake.
Virtual handshake.
I'll see you later.
I'm going to say to you, Jimmy, before this whole shindig goes down, it's special represented from this clip from a soon-to-be favorite movie of ours, and it's me speaking to you about the Huber brothers.
I know you mean well. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. There's only one path to peace. Your extinction.
Good luck to everybody. You ready, Dilling?
Always ready, Brian. Go, 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 go.